Ah, here we go again.
If you've been following my previous reviews, you already know my overall stance on the Walther PDP. However, today's video isn't about rehashing old ground. After spending more time with the Walther PDP, I've come across a couple of minor concerns that I believe deserve attention. In this video, I will attempt to solve 2 out of those 3 issues that have been bugging me for quite some time, and we'll see in the end what kind of results I get. The only catch here, I have 1 gun, 3 issues, and only 2 envelopes to solve. What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. If you're new here, the name of the channel is Parabellum. It's spelled in French, but you pronounce it parabellum from the Latin word para. Bellum. Get it? Anyways, thanks for tuning in. I hope you enjoyed this video. We're gonna get into this, but before we do that, allow me to slap you upside the head with this video. If you find value in the content I provide and want to support the channel, there's a simple way to do so that won't cost you a dime. Just take a moment, like right now, to subscribe to the channel and hit the notification bell so you never miss out on future uploads. Also, throughout this video, if there's something I mention or address that resonates with you, feel free to hit the like button and leave a comment down below. By doing these things, you're not only showing your support, but also sending a sacrificial offering up to the YouTube algorithm gods to let them know that you appreciate content like mine and want to see more, not just from my channel, but from other creators in this niche as well. Please understand that your small gestures go a long way in helping us grow and continue to bring you valuable content. Your support is appreciated and it motivates us to keep improving and delivering the best content possible. With that out of the way, let's get into this, shall we? Alright, so first thing first, make sure it's clear, as you can see right there. Pull on the trigger, clear. Before we start addressing these issues, let me just go ahead and kind of rank them here. So issue number 1 is more of a cosmetic thing, a personal thing, may not be a problem with you, and that's okay. It's not an issue with Walther. It's a me problem. So the first concern, if I had to rate it on a scale of 1 to 5, I'll probably put it at a 3, but it may not be a 3 for you. It might be a -5 for you. And that's okay. The second concern, to the general public, I would say maybe 2.5 to 3. On a personal level, I'll probably have it at a 2. It's just because of how I use this firearm. And then the third concern will probably be at, I don't know, 2.5 or 3 for the general public, and could potentially just be a 2 for me, or maybe a 1. So let's get into it. The first thing that I want to address here is the Walther PDP's grip, especially its looks when it's in any other colors but black. If I ever were in a design room, I wouldn't stop here with the color black. I'll probably run it all the way around here, this contour. Just fill that up, okay? Don't just do the back strap and stop. This thing looks weird, looks funny. I thought it was gonna grow on me, but it never did. Every time I look at this firearm from this angle, I'm just like, it's as if like this was an add-on, like an afterthought. Oh wait, we need back straps. Yeah, just slide one in there. Do we have any other color? No, we only make them in black. Okay, fine, let's go with that. Whatever, they'll never notice. I even thought about painting it, but I don't really have that kind of time. So these are the grips that I chose to go with. Now, just touching them like that, it feels like some pieces are falling. I don't even remember which one I took. Okay, so it was the Pro Texture that I went with. So we have the Pro Texture here, and we're gonna go ahead and apply it. Technically, this should go like this, and then go around. See, it's already addressing my issue. Just for the sake of not boring you guys, I will go ahead and do that off camera. I would let it run, but it's also running out of time and energy. So I will see you once I get this installed. And for those of you telling me to work on my grip, how you like this grip work? Issue number 1 has been addressed. It does feel grippy. I like the fact that it's not very aggressive. I don't know what I've held before that feels like this. It's almost like a layer of clothing, some kind of fabric, but it does feel good. It feels like a very lush rug or carpet. I know I didn't go over the install process or whatever, but you remove the sticky part. You start to apply from left to right. So you have the left piece, the back piece that will have to go up there, and then the third one that you will run all the way to the front of the grip of the gun. And once you get over here, you want to leave the first layer on the left open so you can bring in this piece underneath it and then have this layer that you started with overlap and kind of seal it. And then once you're done, just use a heat gun or whatever. I just used my wife's hair dryer. Don't tell her I did that. Now, I don't know if you're picking up on these, but there are pieces that are already kind of like falling off the grip. There you go. Right there on my finger. They'll stop eventually. Those are like the ones that are probably sticking out the most. So that's issue number 1 addressed. Issue number 2. When I was working and trying to figure out how to tame the recoil on this firearm, I replaced the spring and the guide rod. I'm running the Zero Tactical guide rod and the IMSI spring. Now, it's a 13-pound spring. The problem with that spring is this. It's just way too light. And sometimes it even struggles to go back in the battery. You see that? I have to push it. So what I did is I went ahead to address not just this issue, you know, still get the benefits of a smoother recoil impulse, but also have the peace of mind knowing that my slide is always going back in the battery no matter what. We're gonna address that today. Now, this may have to be done off camera as well because this is not a capture spring. This will require some force or else this thing's just gonna go flying, and I am not ready to be poked in the face or anything like that. So, all right. Many sore thumbs later, I finally got this thing installed. Listen guys, I don't have all the tools to get this done. Basically what I was doing was running this in front to guide the guide rod through here and mitigate the kink. So this thing kind of like stabilizes it. We're gonna go ahead and marry the two. I am so like, I'm trying to keep this thing away from my face because boy is it loaded. Give me a scare there. That's better. Almost struggle. All right, so that's problem 2 resolved, which will lead us to problem number 3. This one is actually pretty straightforward, so I'll let the guns do the talking. Hellcat Pro. Clear. Watch this. Had a battery. That was not a trigger break. That was the safety being disengaged. Okay? Return to battery. That's a break. Again. Safety disengaged. Pulling. Dead trigger. Let go. Fire. Walther PPS M2. Gun is clear. And this is what the break sounds like. Push it out of battery. Again, that little noise was the safety blade being disengaged. All right. And as you can see right there, I'm pulling all the way through. Dead trigger. Let it go back into battery and get a strike. Dead trigger. Let go. Fire. CZ P10C. Here. This is what the break sounds like. And let's start our testing. Out of battery. Blade disengaged. Dead trigger. Let go. Fire. Again, out of battery. Dead trigger. Let go. Fire. FN 509. There's no rounds in there. Out of battery. Nothing. Slightly out of battery. Nothing. Let go, break. Now, the Walther PDP. So we're right here, clear. This is what the break sounds like. Watch this. Out of battery, dead trigger still. By the way, why does Ben Stoeger always choose violence? Anyway, so here's the thing. Personally, this is not an issue because I don't carry this firearm whatsoever. I don't even have a holster for it. This thing stays in a range bag. It's turned pretty much into a range toy. In fact, I like to give this to new shooters. With the way that I have it set up, they can learn with irons, they can learn with the red dot. It's got a pretty comfortable grip, it's easy to point, align your sights and all that stuff. And oh, by the way, they get to get slapped a little bit with that recoil impulse and get introduced to the world of firearm. So I don't have any problems with this not having any restrike capabilities, meaning once it goes out of battery, you pull on that trigger, you don't get a second chance to fire again once the gun goes out of battery. And the other reason why I'm not really making a big deal out of this is because you have to think about the probabilities of things happening and the possibility of things happening. Will you ever get to have to defend yourself with someone pushing up against your slide like this, and then when you pull, nothing happens? I don't know. But then again, you know, we can't predict the future, so we have to prepare for it, right? I was watching a video, that was a very old video of Sage Dynamics, where it was talking about shooting from retention, also shooting through barriers and stuff like that. So one of the things that it was teaching was that if you have a barrier that's pushing your slide out of battery, you can actually use your thumb to push the slide back in the battery and pull. While you're keeping your thumb there, you can actually pull and let a round off. The spent case will not be ejected, but that bullet will definitely come out. Now, I'm not saying go do it. Okay, this is just another option that's out there. If you're carrying this firearm, that's just one thing that you may want to keep in the back of your mind if you're the type to get into squabbles with squirrels. Just saying. I think you even mentioned that in that video. One way to mitigate the risks of having your slide pushed out of battery is to run a weapon mounted light that goes past the muzzle. As for me and how this is set up, I'm fairly covered. You would really have to lean against this thing to push it out of battery. I read somewhere that Walther had addressed it. I'm just gonna leave it at that. But anyway, so if you EDC Walther PDP, just be aware of that. Me personally, I kind of knew about this a long time ago, but didn't see how that was affecting me. Knowing where I stand as far as like this firearm, not Walther as a company, and I want to make that clear, not Walther as a company, but this specific firearm. Knowing what I use it for and its role, it's not a big issue. Again, you gotta weight things up a little bit. Like, how likely is this to ever happen, and is it possible and repeatable? One thing that I've noticed is that you have to kind of hit a sweet spot with this. Like, if I stop right there, I know that if I pull, it's dead. All right, but if I go past this point, you see this point where I stopped right now? If I go past this point and I pull, when I let go, I can still get around to go off. Yeah, anyways, those were the 3 things that I wanted to discuss, and that will be about it for me today, folks. Thanks for watching. Please don't forget to subscribe, like, share, comment. Let me know what you think about the Talon grips. Have you used them before? This is my first rodeo with them, so I can't wait to see in 6 months what they'll look like. And which spring are you currently running? Let me know how that's working out for you. And last but not least, should we make a big deal out of this? Does it have you thinking, or you're not the kind to, you know, allow people to get into your space? That's another thing too. I can't predict the future, but I can also make sure that I don't have someone too close to me, especially if I can kind of read their body language and get a sense or a feel for what's about to happen. I always tell people around me, your number one your number one weapon is your situational awareness. It doesn't matter what you have on you, how much of it you have. If you are not aware of what's going on around you, these things are useless. Your situational awareness will probably save you from a lot of bad things before this does. Thank you guys for your time. Take care. I'm out. Till next time. For some reason, every time I make content about the PDP, there are two types of people that always show up in the comment section. The first one are the ones that will always want to remind me that it's not the gun, it's me, it's my grip. Fine, you know what? I'm working on it. And I'm not kidding. I actually bought those grip thingy that I use from time to time when I'm sitting at my desk. I don't take things personally. I can care less. I always try to find truth in what people say, even when they say it to be offensive. I always try to look for some level of truth in what's being said. The second group of people, I don't know where they come from, and I don't mean no offense by that, but they always, I will say all these things about the Walther, and all they worry about is what iron sights I'm running. I'm gonna say it one more time, and I will add it to the parts list in the description section below. These are Ameriglo sights. The model number is GL695. These are Glock sights, and they are suppressor height night sights. Ameriglo GL695. Ameriglo GL695. Ameriglo GL695. And I promise, if I see a comment asking me what kind of iron sights am I running, I'm blocking you. Hello?
Say, bro, what's that you got on that?